Life will hit you. It won't ask for permission, it won't give you a warning, and it sure won't apologize after. There will be moments when you feel like you've been knocked down so hard you can't move. Moments when you question everything, your strength, your purpose, your worth. But hear me loud and clear, you are not done. The only thing that defines you is what you do next. Will you stay down or will you rise? Today I'm going to tell you how to get back up stronger. Because the ones who rise, who refuse to be beaten, those are the ones who change the world. Let me tell you something, life is going to hit you. And it won't be a gentle tap on the shoulder. No, it's coming full force, no warning, straight to the gut. It will knock the wind out of you. It will push you to your knees. And if you're expecting an easy ride, you're already setting yourself up for disappointment. See, too many people walk through life thinking they deserve smooth roads and open doors. But life doesn't work like that. Life doesn't owe you fairness. Life doesn't owe you comfort. And the sooner you accept that truth, the sooner you can start fighting back. You have to expect struggle. You have to know the storm is coming. When a boxer steps into the ring, he doesn't act surprised when he gets hit. He doesn't throw his hands up and say, "Why me?" No. He braces himself. He learns to take the hit, absorb the blow, and keep moving forward. Because that's what it takes to win. So why do so many people get stuck when life gets tough? Why do they freeze up when hardship comes knocking? Because they think struggle means they're doing something wrong. They think pain means they're off course. But struggle is part of the journey. Hard times aren't a sign to stop. They're a sign to grow. Every great story, every great success has one thing in common: adversity. It's the fire that forges strength. It's the test that reveals character. You've got to reframe the way you see hardship. Stop looking at setbacks as punishments. Start seeing them as preparation. That job you lost, it's setting you up for something greater. That heartbreak, it's teaching you what real love requires. That failure, it's equipping you with the resilience you'll need when success finally comes. Every hit you take, every bruise, every scar, it's not breaking you, it's building you. But let's be clear, this isn't about just taking the pain. This isn't about sitting back and letting life beat you down. No, this is about getting up every single time. It's about refusing to stay down. You learn how to adjust, you learn how to adapt, you learn how to take what life throws at you and keep moving forward. You stop wasting time feeling sorry for yourself. You stop waiting for someone to come rescue you. You take responsibility for your own fight. When life hits you, you have two choices. You can stay down or you can rise. And if you want to win, if you want to build something meaningful, there is only one option. You get back up. You stand tall, look life dead in the eye and say, "That all you got?" Because the ones who make it, the ones who change the world, the ones who leave a legacy, they aren't the ones who never got hit. They're the ones who took the hits and kept going. And so can you. Life is unpredictable. It will shake you. It will test you. And it will throw storms your way when you least expect them. Some of those storms will come from the world around you, people's opinions, unfair circumstances, obstacles that seem impossible to climb. Others will come from within: fear, doubt, regret. And if you spend your time trying to fight against what you can't control, you will exhaust yourself before you ever take a step forward. You can't stop the rain from falling. You can't stop people from judging you, from doubting you, from underestimating you. You can't change the past no matter how much you replay it in your mind, wishing for a different outcome. You can't control the family you were born into, the setbacks you've faced, the unfair cards life has dealt you. But none of that, not one piece of it, determines who you become. Because the power isn't in what happens to you. The power is in what you choose to do about it. So many people waste years of their lives trapped in the cycle of what ifs and why. They carry the weight of their past like chains, dragging it into every decision, every opportunity, every dream. They let their circumstances define their potential instead of realizing that potential is something they get to create. But the truth is simple. You either focus on what you can control or you let what you can't control control you. Your power is in your mindset. It's in your attitude. It's in your effort. And nobody can take that from you unless you hand it over. You control how you show up every day. You control whether you push forward or make excuses. You control whether you let failure stop you or fuel you. Every single choice you make moves you closer to your goals or further away from them. And if you want something, really want something, you don't waste energy on the things outside your reach. You double down on what you can do. You can choose discipline over distraction. You can choose to rise above the negativity instead of letting it pull you down. You can choose to be relentless in your pursuit of growth, to work when nobody is watching, to grind when others quit, to keep believing in yourself even when the world tells you not to. You don't need permission. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need everyone to understand your path. You just need to own what's yours. Life will test you. It will push you to your limits. It will demand that you prove how badly you want the things you say you want. And when that moment comes, you have a choice. Waste your energy fighting what you can't change, or pour everything into what you can. That's the difference between those who dream and those who do. That's the difference between those who break and those who rise. And if you hear these words, if they stir something inside you, then you already know which one you were meant to be. Life will knock you down. That's a guarantee. You will fail, you will stumble, you will make mistakes that leave you questioning everything. But what separates those who stay down from those who rise is one simple thing: the lesson. Every setback, every misstep, every so-called failure is a teacher disguised as pain. And the question is, are you willing to learn, or will you let it break you? Too many people spend their lives stuck in a loop, replaying their failures like a sad song on repeat. They relive the embarrassment, the disappointment, the regret, as if doing so will change what's already done. But it won't. No amount of guilt, shame, or wishing can rewrite the past. What you can do is take the lesson, grab hold of it with both hands, and use it to fuel your next move. You see, life doesn't test you to destroy you, it tests you to prepare you. Every challenge you've faced had something to teach you. About resilience, about patience, about strength you didn't even know you had. And if you're smart, you don't waste that lesson. You don't sit there dwelling on what went wrong. You figure out how to make it right the next time. Ask yourself, what did this teach me? Did it show me a weakness I need to strengthen? Did it reveal a truth I was avoiding? Did it push me to grow in ways I never would have on my own? Because the reality is, pain is not the enemy. Discomfort is not your downfall. The only real failure is refusing to learn, refusing to adapt, refusing to move forward because you're too busy looking backward. And moving forward isn't just about bouncing back. It's about coming back better, wiser, stronger, sharper, because now you've seen what doesn't work. Now you know what mistakes not to repeat. Now you've felt the sting of falling, and you understand exactly what it takes to get back up. That kind of knowledge is power, and power is what turns obstacles into opportunities. But here's the truth. Most people won't do this. Most people will let their failures define them. They'll convince themselves they aren't capable, that they weren't meant for greatness, that their mistakes are proof they should give up. But that's not you. That's never been you. You are not your failures. You are not your mistakes. You are what you do next. So let this moment be the turning point. Let this be the moment you stop seeing failure as an ending and start seeing it as the beginning of something greater. Let this be the moment you stop running from the lesson and start embracing it. Because the ones who make it, the ones who rise to the top, the ones who achieve what others only dream of, are not the ones who never fail. They're the ones who refuse to stay down. So get up, learn the lesson, and move forward like nothing can stop you. Because if you do that, nothing will. There will be days when you don't feel like it, days when you're tired, when the excuses seem louder than your ambition, when the path ahead looks too steep, too long, too impossible. That's when most people stop. That's when they say, maybe this isn't for me. That's when they give in to the lie that success belongs to the lucky, the talented, the chosen. But it doesn't. It belongs to the disciplined, to the ones who show up when it's hard, to the ones who push forward when the feeling is gone. Motivation is a spark. It'll get you started, but it won't carry you through. Inspiration is like the wind. It'll lift you for a moment, but it won't hold you up forever. But discipline is the foundation. It's the rock beneath your feet when everything else feels unsteady. It's the voice inside you that says, I don't care how I feel. I don't care if I'm tired. I don't care if nobody is watching. I do what I said I would do. You see, discipline is not about how you feel. It's about what you decide. If you wait to feel like doing the work, you'll never reach the level you're capable of, because feelings change. Some days you'll be excited, and some days you'll be exhausted. Some days you'll believe in yourself, and some days you'll doubt everything. But discipline does not care about feelings. It cares about action. Look at the people who make it, the ones who build something, the ones who transform their lives, the ones who rise above their circumstances. They aren't waiting for motivation. They aren't waiting for the perfect moment. They have trained themselves to do what needs to be done, whether they feel like it or not. That's why they win. And let me tell you something. You have that same ability. You have the same 24 hours as anyone else. You have the same chance, the same opportunity to decide that you will not be controlled by how you feel in the moment, but by the commitment you made to yourself. So the question is, what do you do when the excitement wears off? When the struggle sets in? When nobody is clapping for you? When there's no instant reward? When the results are slow? Do you quit or do you grind? Do you push through? Do you remind yourself that success is not given, it is earned, day by day, rep by rep, decision by decision? Discipline is not about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about showing up again and again, even when the world gives you every reason to stop. Because if you do that, if you train yourself to be consistent, to push beyond your feelings, to show up for yourself no matter what, there is nothing you can't achieve. So stop waiting for motivation. Stop hoping for the right mood. Make the choice, build the habit, master the discipline, and watch how unstoppable you become. Take a good look at your circle, not just the people you laugh with, not just the ones you pass time with, but the ones who have a say in your life. Are they lifting you up or weighing you down? Are they pushing you forward or are they keeping you stuck? Because whether you realize it or not, the people around you are either adding to your greatness or draining it from you. Too many people surround themselves with victims, people who complain more than they act, people who blame instead of build, people who have a problem for every solution. And if you spend enough time with them, their mentality will start to infect you. Suddenly your dreams seem too big, your goals seem unrealistic, and you start believing that life just isn't in your favor. That's what happens when you let the wrong voices speak into your life. But then there are the fighters, the ones who don't back down, the ones who don't make excuses, the ones who push through pain, push through fear, push through failure, because they know that's the price of success. These are the people who won't let you settle. The ones who will call you out when you start slipping, the ones who will remind you of your own strength when you forget it yourself. Because let me tell you something, life will test you, it will shake you. There will be days when doubt creeps in, when failure stings, when quitting looks easier than continuing. And in those moments, you need people who won't let you quit on yourself. People who will stand in front of you and say, not today, you're better than this. Keep going. If you're serious about winning, about building something great, about becoming someone unstoppable, you have to be intentional about who you let walk beside you. You need to be around people who make you uncomfortable, not because they tear you down, but because they challenge you to rise higher. You need people who see your potential and won't let you stay at anything less than your best. And here's the truth. Fighters don't always tell you what you want to hear, but they will always tell you what you need to hear. They will hold you accountable. They will challenge your excuses. They will push you past your limits, not because they don't care, but because they do. Because they see the fire in you and they refuse to let you put it out. So take a good look at the people around you. If they're not pushing you forward, if they're not helping you grow, if they're not speaking life into your vision, then you need to make some changes. Because you don't have time for dead weight. You don't have time for negativity. You need to be surrounded by warriors, by champions, by people who refuse to let you be anything less than the best version of yourself. Find them, keep them close, and watch how high you rise. Your mind is the most powerful weapon you will ever have. More powerful than talent, more powerful than luck, more powerful than any opportunity handed to you. But like any weapon, it's only as strong as the effort you put into sharpening it. You wouldn't go into battle with a dull sword. You wouldn't step onto a field unprepared. So why would you step into life, into your dreams, into your purpose, without training your mind every single day? Too many people walk through life unarmed. They let the world tell them who they are, what they can do, what they can't do. They let negativity plant roots in their mind, let doubt steal their potential, let fear paralyze them before they ever take a step. And then they wonder why they feel stuck, why success feels out of reach, why they can't seem to break through. It's because they never took control of the one thing that determines everything: their mindset. Your mind is either working for you or against you. It's either lifting you up or dragging you down. And that's why you have to train it daily, not when it's convenient, not when you feel like it, not when life is easy, every single day. Because the moment you stop growing, the moment you stop learning, the moment you stop challenging yourself, that's the moment you start slipping. That's the moment weakness sets in. That's the moment you hand your power over to the world instead of holding it in your own hands. So how do you strengthen your mind? You feed it, you fuel it with knowledge, with wisdom, with discipline. You read books that challenge you, that expand your thinking, that stretch your vision. You listen to voices that inspire you, that push you to rise, that remind you who you are and what you're capable of. You surround yourself with people who think bigger, who refuse to settle, who demand more from life. Because every time you expose your mind to something greater, it grows. Every time you push past your limits expand. And let me tell you, a strong mind does not just help you succeed, it protects you. Because life will test you hard. You will face setbacks, you will hear criticism, you will have days where doubt tries to creep in, where failure tries to convince you that you don't have what it takes. But if your mind is strong, if you have trained it to push forward no matter what, nothing can break you. This world will try to weaken you. It will try to distract you, discourage you, convince you that mediocrity is enough. But you have a choice. You can either let your mind be controlled by the noise around you, or you can take control of it yourself, strengthen it, build it, protect it. Because at the end of the day, your mindset is the foundation of everything you will ever achieve. So make it unshakable and watch how far you go. Nobody is coming to save you. Let that sink in. Nobody. Not your friends, not your family, not some lucky break that falls out of the sky. It's on you. The sooner you accept that, the sooner you realize that your life, your success, your comeback, your future is in your hands. That's when everything changes. Too many people are waiting for someone to give them a shot, waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for the pain to pass, for the situation to fix itself, for someone to swoop in and make things right. But life doesn't work like that. If you want to rise, you have to make the choice. If you want to succeed, you have to do the work. If you want to turn things around, you have to take control. There is power in ownership. Power in saying, yes, I made mistakes. Yes, I fell down. Yes, I got knocked back further than I ever imagined. But you know what else? I'm not staying there. Because the moment you stop making excuses, the moment you stop blaming your circumstances, your past, your struggles, that's the moment you take your power back. That's the moment you become unstoppable. It's easy to point fingers. It's easy to say, if only I had more support, if only I had a better start, if only life was fair. But excuses don't change reality. Excuses don't build success. Excuses don't get you back on your feet. What does? Action. What does? Discipline. What does? A decision. A decision to get up, a decision to fight, a decision to take responsibility, not just for your mistakes, but for your next move. Think about every great comeback story, every person who went from rock bottom to the top. They didn't wait for someone to save them. They didn't wait for permission. They took responsibility. They owned their pain. They owned their failures, and then they turned it all into fuel. That's what separates those who stay down from those who rise. You might be in a tough season. You might feel like life has thrown everything at you. You might feel like you don't even know where to start. But hear me when I say this. You can come back from this. You will come back from this. Not because someone is coming to rescue you, but because you are going to rescue yourself. Because you are stronger than your struggles. Because you are bigger than your setbacks. This is your moment, right now, to stand up, to own your choices, to stop waiting and start moving. Because your comeback isn't about luck. It isn't about someone else giving you a handout. It's about you making the decision to rise again and again until nothing can keep you down. Pain is part of the process. There's no way around it. If you want to grow, if you want to elevate, if you want to become more than you are right now, pain is the price of admission. Success isn't free. Strength isn't given. You earn it step by step, through the struggle, through the setbacks, through the moments when everything in you wants to quit. But you don't. You push forward anyway, because here's the truth. Growth hurts. Discipline hurts. Change hurts. But you know what hurts even more? Staying in the same place. Waking up every day knowing you're capable of more, but refusing to go after it because you're scared of the pain that comes with it. Regret hurts more than hard work. Wasted potential is more painful than the struggle. And the weight of staying stuck is heavier than anything you will ever have to push through to succeed. You're going to face moments when you want to stop, when you want to take the easy road, when you want to sit in your pain, your disappointment, your frustration, and let it consume you. But winners move. They don't sit in their pain, they push through it. They don't let struggle define them, they rise through it. They understand that pain is not the enemy, stagnation is. The pain you feel today, it's building you for tomorrow. It's making you stronger, sharper, wiser. Every setback, every loss, every challenge is shaping you into the person you need to be to handle the level you're trying to reach. But you have to keep moving. You have to refuse to let pain break you. Instead, let it build you. Let it fuel you. Let it remind you that if you can endure this, there is nothing you can't handle. Think about the greats, the ones who made it, the ones who changed the game. You think they didn't hurt? You think they didn't have moments where they doubted themselves, where they felt the weight of failure pressing down on them? Of course they did, but they kept moving. They showed up when it was hard. They worked when they were tired. They pushed forward when every fiber of their being was screaming at them to stop, and that is what made them great. So I ask you, are you willing to fight through the pain? Are you willing to keep moving even when it hurts? Are you willing to embrace the struggle, knowing that on the other side of it is everything you've been working for? Because the pain won't last forever, but the results of your persistence will. So get up, keep moving, keep pushing, even when it hurts, especially when it hurts. Because pain is temporary, but growth lasts a lifetime. Failure is not the end of your story, it's the beginning of your comeback. Every great success you've ever heard of, every legend, every name that echoes through history, at some point they hit the ground hard. They lost, they failed, they doubted. But what separates them from everyone else is what they did next. They didn't just get back up. They got up stronger. They didn't just survive. They used their pain, their struggle, their setbacks as fuel. The people who rise the highest are often the ones who fall in the hardest. And it's not because life spared them more pain. It's because they refused to let that pain define them. They took their losses, their heartbreaks, their disappointments, and turned them into stepping stones. Every moment that tried to break them, they used it to build themselves instead. They didn't waste time crying over what was lost. They focused on what could still be gained. See, life will knock you down. That's a guarantee. You will face rejection. You will experience failure. You will hear people doubt you, laugh at you, tell you that you can't do it. You might even doubt yourself. But you've got two choices. Let the setback break you, let it steal your fire, or let it become the spark that ignites something unstoppable inside you. Greatness isn't given, it's forged. It's built in the moments when everything is telling you to quit, but you decide to keep going anyway. It's built when you take every ounce of frustration, every painful memory, every no, and turn it into fuel to push you further, to drive you harder, to make sure that when you come back with something to prove. The past does not define you. Your failures do not define you, but how you respond to them, that will define the rest of your life. Will you let the past hold you hostage, or will you let it refine you? Will you let your setbacks bury you, or will you rise from them with a fire that no one can put out? Some of you are sitting in your setback right now. You feel stuck. You feel lost. You feel like maybe this is where your story ends. But I'm here to tell you, this is not the end. This is the moment you decide how the next chapter begins. So use your pain, use your struggle, use every time you've been underestimated, overlooked, counted out, and let it fuel you. Let it push you to go harder, to go further, to become the version of yourself that they never saw coming. Because the best revenge, the best answer to every setback, every failure, every doubt, it's not words, it's not excuses, it's success. So take your setback, turn it into fuel, and show the world exactly what you're made of. Life is a fight, and the truth is, not everybody makes it. Not because they aren't talented, not because they aren't smart, but because somewhere along the way they got knocked down and decided not to get back up. Now listen to me. Falling is not the problem. Falling is part of the process. Everybody falls. Everybody fails. Everybody hits a moment where they wonder if they have what it takes. That's life. The world will give you 1,000 reasons to quit. It will test your spirit. It will push you to the edge. But in those moments, when the pain is real, when the exhaustion is overwhelming, when the doubts start creeping in, you have a choice. You can stay down. You can accept the defeat. You can listen to that voice in your head that says, maybe this is too much. Maybe I'm not meant for this. Or you can rise. Because the ones who make it, the ones who go further than anyone ever thought possible, they aren't the ones who never failed. No, they are the ones who refuse to stay down. Understand this. The mind is a powerful thing. It will try to convince you that you can't go on. It will whisper excuses, remind you of every reason why it's easier to just give up. But you get to decide whether you listen. You get to decide whether you let that voice win. See, most people don't lose because they lack talent. They don't fail because they aren't capable. They fail because they let defeat define them. They stay down, they make excuses, they accept less than they are capable of. And little by little, they let their dreams slip away. But that's not you. That's not who you were built to be. There is something inside you, call it fire, call it grit, call it whatever you want, but it's there. And it is stronger than the doubt, stronger than the pain, stronger than every reason the world gives you to quit. You want success? You want to go further than anyone thought you could? Then make a decision right now that no matter what happens, you will never stay down, not once. You fall, you get back up. You fail, you learn and come back stronger. You get knocked to your knees, you rise again, every single time. Because life doesn't give handouts. It doesn't care how hard it gets. It's not about how many times you've been hit. It's about whether you keep moving forward. And the only way you lose is if you let it break you. So the next time life knocks you down, don't hesitate. Don't overthink it. Don't wallow in self-pity. Get up, stand tall, keep fighting, because you are not finished. Your story is not over. And if you refuse to stay down, there is nothing that can stop you. Life will knock you down. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. But the real question is, what will you do when it happens? Will you stay there, broken, defeated? Or will you get up, stronger, wiser, more unstoppable than before? Because the truth is, life doesn't break the strong, it reveals them. And if you're willing to fight, if you're willing to rise, if you're willing to refuse defeat, then nothing, and I mean nothing, can keep you down. Stand up, stay up, and show this world what you're made of.